Hi, everyone. I wanted on this podcast to share with you the beautiful winter wonderland that is behind me and surrounds me. My husband and I, we received about 20 centimeters of snow, almost 2 feet yesterday, between Sunday and yesterday. And so we've had to go out and shake snow off some of the trees and just try to rescue them a little bit on our walk. And I also wanted to share with you during our solstice meditation. So, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, my beautiful Christmas cactus, which is blooming. This is just such a beautiful time of year. And sometimes I go out with the horses, but it's just a little too chilly. So they may join us behind me, but I suspect they'll stay on the other side of the field where the hay is. But I did want to bring the beautiful energy of our prop into this podcast and this meditation today. Before we get too far in, I just want to let you know that if your intention is to become a professional member or to take another Reiki class or to take your first Reiki class or to review a class in the new year, I have a full lineup of online classes in the Eastern time zone in January, Reiki level 1 and 2 and master. And that would make you a professional member of the Reiki Membership Association if that's of interest to you in the new year, if that's one of your goals. I also have ICRT Animal Reiki level 1 and 2 and master, and that brings about tremendous healing and feeling of belonging on the earth. So would love to have you join us. And those are all followed at the end of January and early February by animal communication class and Karuna Reiki masterclass. And in January, I'm teaching a lot of weekends. The level 1 and 2 Reiki is on a weekend. The animal Reiki 1 and 2 is on a weekend. And so is animal communication. So please join us. I'm not often able to teach on weekends. Please join us if that's of interest to you. And also, if you're in Australia, please plan to join me in March. I'm heading over. I can't wait to get back to Australia. It'll be my first time since COVID started that we're able to travel, and we'll be doing some in-person classes. I am also checking to see if it's possible to do them online. So if you are interested in online in Australia and in the Australian time zone, please reach out and let me know. That will help me decide whether to move the class slightly to a place with better internet reception or what might be possible. So do reach out and hopefully you'll join me in Australia. We've got level 1 and 2 in masters, which in person and hopefully possibly online, and also ICRT Animal Reiki. So hopefully you will be joining me, and please let friends know if you live in Australia, because a lot of folks are looking for in-person ICRT licensed classes, and I do believe that, and I'm the only licensed teacher at the moment that teaches there, although my student Ting may consider teaching classes in English there. We're still working on that and looking through that. So guys, I just am so delighted that you're here to join me in this podcast about the solstice. And in particular, I was guided to bring in the energy of ascension today. Let me explain that a little bit. Today, we're coming together to mark the end of another year and the start of a new one as we go into winter solstice here in the Northern Hemisphere and summer solstice in the Southern Hemisphere. And this is really a time of reflection and introspection. It's a time, regardless of our hemisphere, whether we're just slowing down or just speeding up in the Southern Hemisphere, it's still a time to reflect on the last year and everything that we've accomplished, and to just take a moment to connect with that powerful solstice energy. And at the same time, astrologically, we have Perseid meteor showers happening. And these are both powerful cosmic events. They can really help us tap into the power of transformation and renewal. And of course, one of the best ways to tap into this energy is with Reiki, which can help us heal, become balanced, and promotes well-being on all levels, and it can help us align with the energy of the solstice and meteor showers. And we also want to keep in mind, as we look ahead into our first 6 months of 2023, the energy of the super new moon, which is just a few days after the solstice. And this is considered a time of new beginnings and fresh starts. And it doesn't matter which hemisphere we're in, we're all in this powerful, energetic time right now. So this is a really powerful time for us to set intentions, to make plans, and also to take any actions we want to take toward our goals and aspirations. A lot of people think it's the new year, but actually I like to get started a little sooner and use the energy of the solstice to propel my next year, the year of 2023. Now, ascension is normally known as the process of spiritual evolution and the expansion of consciousness. The energy has been actually showing me in my sessions and classes and so on that there is a big shift happening on the earth right now, that we're almost at a tipping point. And together with another student and client of mine, we've both been feeling it and comparing our notes. And one of the things that we've come to understand is that we're going into a period of great forgetting, or releasing the great forgetting. So most of the time when our soul comes to the planet, we go through a process known as the great forgetting, when we don't remember who we are as spiritual beings. I believe that the earth is getting ready to let that go to a certain extent so that we can begin to remember where we come from. You guys always hear me talk about duality. And that's because we come from a space on the earth, which is a place of dual nature or duality, where there's both positive and negative, both love and fear. And there's usually about an equal amount of love on the planet as there is fear and negativity, an equal amount of positive and negative. And of course, some people choose to live focused on the positive and other people choose to live focused on the negative. But when we are connected with our spirit, with our soul, we realize that we can step out of the duality and move only into love, which is only into positive, loving space. And so the energy is showing us that the world is at a tipping point right now. It's getting ready to move into that if you choose to. Of course, nobody is ever going to be forced against their free will to go anywhere that they don't want to be. So if you choose to step out of the duality and into a space that is almost purely positive or primarily love, it is possible to do that on the planet even now, I believe. Even though there may be duality that exists around you, it's possible to step outside of that if you wish. And who doesn't wish that? And I believe that is the process of ascension, is just releasing the duality within us. And for those of you who listen to the podcast regularly, you know that every week we work on a different aspect, a different something else as we're guided as far as releasing those energies. But what I've also been shown with regard to ascension is that it is a place of tremendous balance. One of the things, I know that I'm a Reiki master, but I'm nothing if not practical and very much grounded on the earth. But one of the things that I was shown very early on, as far as with my work with enlightened beings, is that all of the enlightened beings that I worked with and that I encountered were perfectly balanced. They were neither masculine or feminine, and they were both, much like I've noticed that God or Source is. They were incredibly positive beings, but they didn't ignore the negative. They were aware that it still existed and had compassion for those who chose to be in to see the world that way. So what I'm getting from this period of enlightenment and what I wanted to share with you is that I think it's a time when the masculine and feminine, the yin and the yang on the earth are moving into a place of tremendous balance. I believe that's the definition of enlightenment and ascension. In fact, my friend sees the divine feminine wisdom as Sophia, labeled as Sophia, and the divine masculine as Logos. And my studies throughout history have shown that sometimes we're overbalanced in the feminine, sometimes we're overbalanced in the masculine. For the last few thousand years, as a society as a whole on the earth, we've been a little more overbalanced on the masculine way of doing things. That doesn't mean male or female. That means more of a patriarchal society, more of a masculine way of doing things. But I believe the earth is getting ready to shift into that beautiful place of balance where there is a merger and where we can tap into and access both the divine feminine or Sophia and the divine masculine or Logos. And we can see that even in our practices, the way that we use logic as well as our intuitive work, our intuition, that there's really, the earth is moving into a place of balance with that. There was a time when if you said you were intuitive, it was believed that you were airy-fairy and not fully connected with the earth. But I really think that time is behind us, so that there are lots of logical people, doctors and lawyers and this, and as well as artists and everyone else who are embracing their intuitive natures, embracing the divine feminine within them. I think along with this ascension energy, which I believe is coming to the earth right now, we're in a place of getting rid of our old thought patterns. And my friend said that she saw the breath of God was being breathed on the earth right now, and that was helping us to release old thought patterns and limiting beliefs, just allowing us to move higher in our frequency, in the energy, releasing things like karma, and it just anchoring more love on the planet. That's a message I've been getting for a while. It allows us to release things that maybe we inherited through our ancestral history, through our bloodline. It allows us to release things like the great forgetting and to remember that energetic link that we have with Source. And so I really feel that this is a very important and powerful time to be on the earth right now. We can even let go of the energy of suffering. There is a belief, I know in the way I was raised and in the way a lot of us were raised, there is a belief, and it's cultural, that you need to suffer in order to gain, or someone needs to suffer in order to move ahead. And I believe that we're moving into a time when we can let that go now, that belief in suffering, and just understand that it's no longer necessary. That's one of the negative or limiting beliefs that we can let go of. And that's really going to allow for a big shift. Things like evil and Satan, these constructs that have needed to exist in order for us to better understand the positive and negative, these are things that may be leaving as well, so that we can find our own truth. And we're just so blessed to live at a time of freedom of religious expression and so on, where we can live in our own truth. And there is a name that I've seen for that, which is Hyros Gamos. It's truth. It means in truth, move forward into peace and love. And so I'm just so delighted that you've all joined me today, so that we can move into actual authentic alignment within ourselves and with our own truth. Now, I think everybody has a truth that they came to the planet to share with others. And regardless of what that is for you, I'm really excited to be able to assist you in moving toward it today. The other thing I want to keep in mind is just looking in ahead to the first 6 months of 2023. This solstice is wrapping up what began for us at the summer solstice, July 21st in August, during a really busy time energetically in August and September. And we'll be moving into our new plans, our new future. It's a very powerful time for us to set intentions, to make plans, and to begin taking action toward our goals and aspirations. And now, as we move into the coming year, just inviting us to be mindful of our personal growth and development, and to look out ways of connecting with higher dimensions and just tapping into the full potential of our being. So as we come to the end of this year and the beginning of the next, just embracing this energy of the solstice, of the Perseid meteor showers, of the super new moon, of the ascension energies, and just using all of this together, these powerful cosmic events to guide us on our journey in healing, growth, and well-being. So I'd like to thank you for joining me today, for being here. And I believe that as each of us raises higher into this ascension energy and anchors it on the planet, it brings the planet into a little bit higher alignment itself. And I'm so grateful that you're all here. And together we will move forward with gratitude and purpose as we embark on this next new chapter together. So I'm just going to invite you to join me in a meditation today to welcome these new energies into our lives, to blend them with Reiki, and to just anchor your personal truth, your personal ascension energy. Go ahead and close your eyes and bring your hands into Gasho. And breathe. Just activating your Reiki energy and any symbols that you may have. And just reflecting back on the last 6 months. Taking a moment to think of all that you've accomplished. So often we look at our to-do list or at what is still left to accomplish, but just taking a moment to consider how far you've grown and how far you've come. And just acknowledging the growth, strength, and all that you've accomplished. And this is just but a percentage, a small percentage of all that you've accomplished in the last 6 months. Think of the perspectives you've gained, the way your frequency is raised. And I just invite you now to take a moment to think forward into the next 6 months between now and the summer solstice for the Northern Hemisphere and between now and the winter solstice. for our friends in the Southern Hemisphere. What would you like to accomplish in the next 6 months? And just allowing Reiki energy to weave through that with you and for you, helping you to show the way forward, maybe in some of the areas of your life that you've been stuck, helping to show the way forward in some of the spots where you're not sure where you want to go. And we're just going to breathe in this space, setting our intentions for the coming year, and allowing Reiki to weave through those intentions, maybe adjust them slightly, and assist us in bringing them together for us. Go ahead and place your hands comfortably on your body now. And at this time of solstice, it brings with it a time for stillness and reflection. The world slows down and turns inward. And we're reminded of the mystery and the magic of life. In the Northern Hemisphere, the longest night has come, and in the Southern, the longest day. And this is a time of rebirth, as the light begins to return or begins to fade. In both hemispheres, the sun still rises. And we are always gifted with the promise of a new dawn. The solstice is always a time of transformation, a moment to let go of the old and embrace the new, as we honor both the darkness and the light within and within our lives. We're granted the power to heal and renew. So we celebrate the solstice and all that it represents as we honor the mysteries of the universe and the power of the human spirit. And we invite the energy of Ascension to join us today to just begin releasing any duality that exists within us, any belief in suffering, any other limiting beliefs. And we release these beliefs, these limiting beliefs, on behalf of ourselves and on behalf of the collective, for those who would wish to release them also. And we'll spend a few moments here. And we release any spirit attachments, curses, promises, vows, spells that may be holding us back, and any stagnant energies that we're holding on to on behalf of others. I invite you to just pull your personal energy in close to you now so that it skims your skin. And as you do, you just notice the energies and expectations of others drop into the thirsty earth. And you are sovereign in your own body and in your own energy. And we'll spend a few moments here today. And many experience trauma and grief and the loss of loved ones. If you've lost someone close to you or have experienced a tremendous difficulty in the past year or beyond, we just invite you to release the burden of that now into the light of Reiki, where it will be listened to and heard and nurtured and healed all the way back to its original cause. And if you're also carrying the burden of the ways and worries of the world, you can release those now too. Allowing Reiki and the divine ones that surround us, standing at the corners of the land, and on every side, the divine animal kingdom, the angels, the archangels, the brothers and sisters of the light and the enlightened beings, just allowing them to take care of us, to take care of our burdens for us on our behalf. And if there are relationships that are no longer part of your experience, and if there are stagnant energies or emotions that exist within you, we release those now too, into the light of Reiki, where they will be listened to, cared for, nurtured, healed, all the way back to their original cause. And so from this place of clarity and autonomy, still breathing in the light and still releasing old patterns, anything that no longer serves you, ancestral history, things from our lineage or our bloodline. I invite you to imagine that it's a beautiful, warm, sunny day and that you're walking through a trail that leads to Stonehenge in England. And it is the solstice. And all of the stone circles were designed to be entered into at solstice. A time of release of the old and an embracing of the new. For millennia, the people have sought out these stone circles and their alignment to release their ancestors, their loved ones, into the light, and to release their burdens so that they too might reconnect with the light within them. And so we walk up a gentle slope and we realize that we are here together, the hundreds of us that listen to the podcast. Usually 400 or 500 souls. But it is just us today. I don't know where anyone else is, but we appreciate the opportunity to visit Stonehenge at this time of ascension, together with like-minded people. And as the great monolith structure comes closer, we begin to realize its immensity. And we wonder at the impossibility of the primitive peoples putting these huge structures together, especially this one, which in size, I believe, is the largest of them all. And you stop and place your hand on one of the stones as you move toward the center of the circle, and it is a great circle, large enough to hold us all and to allow us each to have our own experience, even though we are together. But as you place your hand on this stone, the ancientness of the stone connects you with the ancientness of your own soul. It connects you from that time when your soul was a spark of creation and it became self-aware, the original birth of your soul. And so you realize that what we are doing today will connect you with all aspects of yourself, past lives, this lifetime, future, ancestral history. It connects us with any time in your soul's history when you needed help or healing. And so you walk into the center of the circle and you realize that there is room for all of us to lie down or to lean back against one of the stones, sitting cross-legged or however you wish. And at the same time, the sun moves to the spot where it shines through the stones and onto the altar stone. And you realize that this altar stone is not here to sacrifice people or anything of that nature, but it is a place that we can set our burdens, our traumas, our injuries, whatever they may be. And so we each walk over to the stone and we place our burdens on the altar stone. And we go back and take our place, changed so that we're looking at the stone now and watching as the sun releases our burdens. And it enlightens us. Breathe in the freedom of that and the energy of ascension begins to raise your energetic frequency now, to release any patterns or beliefs, even if we're unaware of them, that may be holding us back from any time in our soul's history. To empower us on our life path and purpose and journey. Open your heart and receive the ascension energy now. During this powerful moment of solstice, meteor showers and super full moons, this powerful moment of birth and renewal. And we'll remain here for some time. And you notice that the energy of ascension feels very much like balanced and authentic divine love. Your heart feels enlightened, and you remember that who you are is magnificent, and that you are a spark of God or of Source. You remember the message from the earth and the animals and the divine animal kingdom that you're beautiful. And as you realize that, acknowledge it, you will create your life from a place of beauty. But when you believe yourself to be destructive or flawed, that is where you create from. And so we step into the beauty, the magnificence, and we begin to manifest 2023, our new year, from that place. And for those who still have holiday celebrations to look forward to, family events, and so on, you step in from that place. And as you anchor this understanding, this belief, and this lightness into yourself, you begin to anchor it into the planet, this ascension energy into the planet on behalf of yourself, your family, and anyone else who is ready to step into this at this time. Understanding that you are an integral part of the ascension process. And as you agree to accept this beautiful enlightened energy, this ascension energy into yourself, you anchor it in, anchoring into the planet, each in our own way will hold that energy in our part of the world. And we're listening from all over the planet today. And as we anchor this in, the entire planet lifts. There is less suffering, less war. And so we contribute to that. And we connect now with the world peace grids. They exist in the North and South Poles, Jerusalem, Hawaii, Michigan, and Mount Kurama. And we just allow our Reiki energy to spread out from us and to connect with the grids. And the grids connect with each other. And that connects us with the people all over the world as we think of the intention on the world peace grids. May the followers of all the world's religions and spiritual paths work together to create peace among all people on earth. And we bring the energy back now to our communities and the intention. And then it moves out into our provinces or our states. And then into our countries and our continents. And you can feel that connection with each other, with each and every person on the planet, that oneness, the reveal. We are all one. We are all one. We are all one at our core. We are love, and we are beauty, and we are grace. But for the grace of God go we. Place your hands on your heart now and just feel your heartbeat move into resonance with the heartbeat of the earth and the heartbeat of each other. And from this place of oneness and reveal, we greet the new year. We are thankful for the energy of solstice and renewal, for each other, this beautiful community, this Reiki community that we exist within, regardless of our lineage or affiliations. We are all one. We are grateful to be of a lineage of light bringers who are anchoring in love, balanced divine love on the planet today and having an impact on the ascension and the frequency of the earth. Thank you for being you. Take a moment to appreciate how deeply you love and how deeply you care. And thank you for being here together with us today. I invite you to stay in this beautiful energy as long as you feel guided. And whenever you feel ready, you can return. And just know how much you are appreciated by me, by the energy, by the enlightened beings, and by the universe. Thank you for anchoring Ascension into our beautiful planet. Namaste.